All right, here we go. For problems 23 and 24, we got to refer to this table of values. Let me read the caption here. It says, the Townsend Realty Group invested in 5 different properties listed in the table above. The table shows the amount in dollars the company paid for each property and the corresponding monthly rental price in dollars. The company charges for the property at each of the 5 locations. All right? So this is what they paid for it, and this is how much they charge in rent. So now the relationship between the monthly rental prices are, and in dollars, and the property's purchase price P in thousands of dollars can be represented by which linear function? And so now what they want us to do is this company is, they want to make a certain amount of profit. And they want to make it in a certain amount of time. So basically whatever they buy this price, or whatever their purchase price is, they just run it through a formula to figure out what their monthly rentals should be. And that way they can pay the property off in a certain amount of time and then start generating a profit. It's a very smart way to do it. So now how do we figure that out? Well, the linear function represents the relationship, and so like if we say, remember it's linear, so let's do a little quick review. Y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the initial condition or the y-intercept. We could use function notation like this, right? F of x equals mx plus b. But now we're making, we're going to do something like this. We could say something like the rental cost or charge as a function of the price would be m times p plus the initial condition b, right? So now if we wanted to figure out what that was, basically what we need to do, we could do a system of equations and solve, or I think what we could do is just figure out what the relationship between these two are. Okay, so there's an easy way and then there's a hard way. The actual hard way is actually quicker, and since this is a time test, that's what we'll need to do. So what we're going to do, we're going to keep all this stuff in mind. Whoops. Let me erase this so I can give myself some space to write. So let's just pick 2 of these out. So according to the table, I'm going to pick some small numbers. Let's pick this one. And remember that the purchase price is represented in 70,000. So this is actually like 70, or it's represented 70,000. It's represented in thousands, right? So they paid 70,000, but I really just have to write down 70, okay? Because that's according to the paragraph. But now the full rental price, we could just write down the full amount. So that's one coordinate point on the line. And then the next thing I suppose I could pick out would be this last one here, Hamilton Circle. Again, I would just put 450 and then 3,365. And now we could go from here and find the slope of these two. But I want to do this in a different way than you guys are accustomed to. So if I'm going to move this up here and move this, oops. Oh, it won't let me do it. All right, so let's try this. Let's rewrite it this way. I don't know if you guys remember this, but we did this once before. If I make a system of equations, because basically I have 2 unknowns. I have I'm sorry, I wrote that as m. So 70 times m plus b, and then I have 450 times m plus b should equal my rental price, right? So what they're doing is they're taking They pay a certain dollar amount, 450,000. They take that 450,000, multiply it by a constant multiple, which is a slope, right, a rate of change. Then they tack on an initial condition, maybe like closing costs or something. I don't know what it is, advertising costs, something. And then that calculates how much they're going to charge for rent. Okay, so I have two unknowns. I have the rate of change, M, and then I have the initial condition, which is like a one-time fee that they pay. And so now I have a system of equations. What I can do is I could go through and solve for M and B. So now if I wanted to solve for M, what I could do is I could take this first one and I could negate it, and I could say multiply everything by a -1, right? And then when I do that, if I add it up, what's 450 minus 70? Somebody do that on your calculator. Is that 380?
Yes.
So we have 380 M.
Oops.
Now the B's will cancel, and so now somebody on your calculator do 3,365 minus 515.
50.
What is it? 2,850?
3.1.
Now if I solve both sides, right, by dividing 380, what do I get?
7.5.
7.5. Now M is the slope, right? So if M is the slope, then, oops. All I got to do is look at these and see which slope has 7.5.
D.
That would be D. And D is the correct answer. Now, how would I go about solving for 10? Well, I could take either one of these equations, like this one, and I could say 70 times 7.5 plus B equals 515.
And just solve for B.
And then just solve for B. Let's do it real quick. 70 times 7.5 is?
525.
525. So B is equal to 515 minus 525. What's that? -10?
Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
And that's it? Okay. What did I calculated it in my head and I said, is that -10? But yeah, that's the answer, right?